Haywood Mall is a well-known shopping center in Greenville, South Carolina. Many people visit it every day for shopping, eating, or meeting friends. It is usually a busy but peaceful place for the community. However, on June 4, 2025, the normal afternoon calm was broken by a disturbing incident. News of trouble began to circulate, causing understandable concern among shoppers and mall employees alike. The events of that day stood in stark contrast to the typically safe and welcoming atmosphere that Haywood Mall strives to provide for all its visitors. It was a disruption that caught many by surprise. The first reports indicated a serious problem developing within the mall. Information started to emerge about an altercation involving a restaurant worker. This kind of news is always unsettling, especially when it happens in a public space frequented by families and people of all ages. The initial details pointed to a disturbance that had begun inside the mall premises, quickly shattering the ordinary rhythm of a weekday afternoon. People present began to feel a sense of unease as word spread about the confrontation, and the usual sounds of a bustling mall were soon overshadowed by an atmosphere of worry and uncertainty. The source of this trouble was identified as a group of young people. According to the reports received by authorities, these juveniles were allegedly involved in an attack on an employee. This employee was working at one of the restaurants located within Haywood Mall at the time of the assault. This direct confrontation was the starting point for a sequence of events that would require a significant police response. The safety and well-being of employees at any workplace are of utmost importance, and such an attack is a serious matter. The specific reasons behind this initial assault were not immediately made clear to officials. It is worth noting that this alarming incident involving the assault and subsequent gunfire was one of two unusual events that drew emergency responders to Haywood Mall on that particular day. Separately, a fire was reported in the vacant part of the Sears building connected to the mall. That fire is currently the subject of a distinct and separate investigation by the relevant authorities. While both events contributed to a tense afternoon at the shopping center, this account will focus specifically on the details of the assault on the restaurant worker and the police actions that followed that particular chain of events on June 4th. The troubling sequence of events began when the group of juveniles reportedly initiated an assault on the restaurant employee while still inside Haywood Mall. The confrontation took place within the public areas of the shopping center, creating a potentially alarming scene for anyone who may have witnessed the aggression. Such an unprovoked attack within a commercial establishment is a serious breach of public order and safety. The employee was directly targeted by this group of young individuals. The precise nature of this initial confrontation, and what may have precipitated it, are details that investigators are now working diligently to uncover as they piece together the timeline of the incident. The aggression unfortunately did not conclude within the confines of the mall building. The situation escalated further as the conflict moved outdoors. Reports indicate that the group of juveniles continued their assault on the same restaurant worker after they had moved into the mall's parking lot area. This continuation of the attack in a different location demonstrated a persistent level of aggression from the group. Parking lots, often being more expansive and sometimes less monitored than interior spaces, can unfortunately become settings for heightened confrontations. The employee was evidently pursued, and the danger to them persisted even as they left the initial scene of the conflict. The most frightening development occurred during this altercation in the parking lot. It was at this point that one of the juveniles in the group reportedly discharged a firearm. The firing of a gun in a public place, especially one as busy as a mall parking lot, represents a grave escalation and an immediate threat to public safety. The sound of gunfire can instantly create widespread panic and significantly increases the potential for tragic outcomes. This act transformed a serious assault into an even more critical incident, one involving the reckless use of a deadly weapon. This discharge of a weapon introduced an element of extreme danger to an already volatile situation. Remarkably and very fortunately, amidst the chaos of the assault and the subsequent gunfire, no individuals were reported to have sustained physical injuries. This includes the restaurant employee who was the target of the assault, as well as any bystanders who might have been in the vicinity when the gun was fired. The Greenville Police Department confirmed that there were no injuries resulting from either the physical altercation or the discharge of the weapon. While the peace was shattered and a sense of security was undoubtedly compromised, the fact that no one was physically harmed offers a small measure of relief in an otherwise deeply concerning series of events. Upon receiving reports of the escalating situation at Haywood Mall, including the discharge of a firearm, the Greenville Police Department immediately mobilized a response. Officers were dispatched to the scene with urgency, understanding the critical nature of such an incident in a public area. The primary objectives for the responding officers were to ensure the safety of everyone at the mall, to locate and apprehend any individuals involved in the reported crimes, and to restore order. A rapid and effective police presence is essential in these types of volatile situations to prevent further harm and to begin the process of investigation promptly. Their training prepares them to handle such challenging calls. In a display of proactive police work, officers managed to locate the group of juveniles suspected of being involved in the incident, even while they were still en route to Haywood Mall. This crucial development meant that the police were able to identify and intercept the individuals relatively quickly after the events transpired. This swift location of the suspects was a significant step in containing the situation and preventing the individuals from potentially evading authorities or causing further trouble. It speaks to the alertness and efficiency of the officers who were responding to the emergency call that day, possibly using descriptions provided by initial callers or mall security personnel. Following the location of the suspects, the officers initiated a traffic stop on the vehicle in which the group of juveniles was traveling. Conducting a traffic stop is a standard law enforcement procedure to investigate potential criminal activity, but it is one that requires caution and adherence to protocol, especially when dealing with individuals suspected of being armed or recently involved in a violent crime. This action allowed the police to safely approach and make contact with the suspected parties. The traffic stop effectively brought the group under police control, thereby preventing their further movement and allowing for a direct investigation into their involvement in the mall incident. During the course of this carefully executed traffic stop, officers made a significant discovery. They recovered the firearm that was allegedly used during the altercation in the Haywood Mall parking lot. The retrieval of this weapon was a critical piece of the puzzle for the police. It not only removed a dangerous weapon from potential circulation, but also provided tangible evidence linking the detained individuals to the reported shooting. Securing the firearm helps to confirm the serious nature of the incident police were called to address and is vital for any subsequent legal proceedings. The officers' thoroughness during the stop led directly to this important recovery. As a direct result of the police intervention, the successful traffic stop, and the recovery of the firearm, several young individuals from the group were taken into custody. These juveniles were detained by the Greenville Police Department in connection with the assault and the shooting incident at Haywood Mall. Due to their status as juveniles, authorities typically do not release their names or detailed personal information to the public. This is a standard practice designed to protect the privacy of minors involved in the justice system. These detentions mark a key phase in the response to the day's troubling events, holding those allegedly responsible accountable. It is very important to understand that the investigation into this incident is far from over. The Greenville Police Department is continuing to actively and thoroughly examine all aspects of what occurred on June 4th. This comprehensive investigation includes looking into the initial assault that took place inside the restaurant area of the mall, as well as the subsequent escalation that led to the gunfire in the parking lot. Detectives are tasked with gathering all available evidence, interviewing witnesses, and speaking with everyone involved to build a complete and accurate picture of the events. Many questions remain, and the police are committed to finding the answers. Authorities are working diligently to understand the full context and motivations behind this incident. A key part of the ongoing investigation will be to determine why the restaurant employee was targeted and what led the group of juveniles to resort to such aggressive and dangerous actions. Understanding the root causes and the precise sequence of events is crucial not only for this specific case, but also for informing efforts to prevent similar occurrences in the future. This process involves meticulous police work, including the review of any available surveillance footage and the careful corroboration of statements. The goal is to achieve a clear and factual account. The case officially remains open, and the Greenville Police Department is dedicated to pursuing all leads and uncovering all pertinent facts. The primary commitment of law enforcement in this situation, as always, is to ensure the safety and security of the Greenville community. Officers and investigators will continue their diligent work on this case. It is possible that further information will be shared with the public as the investigation progresses and more details are confirmed by officials. The community can be assured that the police are focused on achieving a just resolution and learning valuable lessons from this disturbing event at Haywood Mall.